Kosifiaka and Nami 38,920. Now, packages are available from June to October, with the December packages coming soon. Now, in addition, group, individual, or corporate packages with guided tours are also available. Now, if you don't want to go between June and October, or you don't want to go December, you want to go at a different time, they can arrange it for you. So call them on 025-630-8402, 025-630-8402. You can also send them a WhatsApp message on the same number, 025-630-8402. And you can follow them on social. Follow them on their verified Instagram page, Tamala Voyage Accra. On their Facebook page, Tamala Voyage Ghana. Now imagine being in the stands for the UEFA Champions League. This year's Champions League starts in September. Right, if you want to experience 90 minutes of pure football magic, simply spend 500 USD using your Stanbic Money Wallet MasterCard from now till August 14. And you could win 2 tickets to the league phase of the UEFA Champions League 2026-27. Now, tickets are kind courtesy of MasterCard, who are the official sponsors of the UEFA Champions League. So if you are game, call 0302-815789 or visit their website, stanbicbank.com.gh. The word on your card, remember, T's and C's apply. All right, so as I said, Accra Hearts of Oak and Karela are 2 teams experiencing contrasting transfer fortunes. Now, for Accra Hearts of Oak, what are they up to these days? Now, you remember when Accra Hearts of Oak were handed a transfer ban by FIFA because they were owing their former TD, their former technical director, Rene Hiddink. Now, Rene Hiddink took Accra Hearts of Oak to court because he was owed money after his contract was terminated. Hearts did not pay him the fee covering the rest of the contract, and it generated a huge story. Now, Hearts of Oak were asked to pay Mr. Hiddink what was outstanding. The matter went to court, back and forth. And now that amount of money has been paid. And Accra Hearts of Oak issued a statement yesterday confirming that the amount of money had been paid and that now they could go into the market and sign players. Now, the statement reads, it says, Accra Hearts of Oak Sporting Club wishes to inform its cherished supporters, stakeholders, partners, and the general public that FIFA has officially communicated to the club the closure of the matter involving Rene Hiddink. The closure follows the full settlement of the amount due Mr. Hiddink, which has been duly confirmed by him. Consequently, FIFA has formally lifted all registration restrictions. All registration restrictions previously imposed on the club in connection with the matter. The club is pleased that the matter has now been brought to a conclusion and wishes to reaffirm that it acted in good faith throughout the process with the objective of reaching a responsible and amicable resolution. We urge our supporters and all stakeholders to remain calm and allow the matter to rest as the relevant process has now been concluded. The board and management sincerely appreciate the patience, understanding, and unwavering support of all Phobians. Signed, Hearts Management. So Hearts of Oak are saying that they don't owe Mr. Hiddink any more money. They've paid Mr. Hiddink everything they owe him. And Mr. Hiddink has also confirmed receiving the payment from Accra Hearts of Oak. So all is well with Accra Hearts of Oak. However, Karela, as I said, they are on the same coin, different side. Same coin, different side. So whilst Hearts of Oak have sorted out their issues with Rene Hiddink, Karela are also at the initial stages of a challenge they are facing because they have been hit with a registration ban by World Football Governing Body FIFA over unpaid debts to one of their former players. Okay, an unpaid debt to one of their former players. And I will give you that full story in a second. So Accra Hearts of Oak, they are fine. It is Karela who are facing an issue currently in terms of their owing of their former player, Sana Kamara. Okay, now the story is on 3news.com/sports, and it says Karela FC has been handed a registration ban by FIFA after failing to settle a financial obligation owed to their player, Sana Kamara. Now, the sanction was communicated by FIFA in a letter dated August 17, and the letter is saying that Karela are currently prohibited from registering new players at both the national and international levels. According to the correspondence issued through the FIFA legal portal, the decision relates to an earlier ruling under case number FPSD 23160, in which the club was ordered to fulfill its financial obligations towards Kamara. FIFA said it had determined that Karela had still not complied with the earlier decision, prompting the world governing body to activate a registration restriction. Quote, as it appears that despite the decision, Karela United, who FIFA has described as the respondent, has not yet complied with its financial obligations towards Sana Kamara, end quote. FIFA stated in its letter. Okay, now the ban comes at a potentially difficult time for the Tamale-based club, particularly as Ghanaian clubs continue preparations for the new Premier League season and seek to strengthen their squads throughout or through the transfer market. Karela United's inability to register new players could limit their options in the ongoing recruitment period, especially if the club needs additional reinforcements before the start of the campaign. FIFA has made it clear, however, that the sanction is not necessarily permanent. The registration ban will remain in force until Karela United settles the outstanding amount owed to Kamara. FIFA also stated or stipulated that the restriction can remain in place for a minimum of 3 entire and consecutive registration periods. In addition, FIFA has instructed the Ghana Football Association to enforce the ban at the national level if the restriction has not already been implemented. Okay, the exact amount owed to Kamara was not disclosed in the FIFA communication. Karela United will therefore need to resolve the outstanding financial matter in line with the original decision if they are to have the registration restriction lifted. The development adds another layer of pressure on the club's management, who must now find a solution to the financial dispute to avoid the ban affecting their squad building plans and preps for the upcoming Ghana Premier League season. So that's the story for Karela. Hearts of Oak have had their ban lifted because they finally settled Rene Hiddink. But Karela, they are the ones in trouble currently. Because they owe their former player, Sana Kamara. We don't know the amount yet, but FIFA says that because Karela owes their player, they have been given a transfer restriction. They say that until when Karela pays the money, they won't be able to add new players to their squad. And FIFA also says that the ban can go as high as 3 consecutive windows. So Karela need to sort this issue out and sort it out very, very quickly if they do not want to have problems registering players for the new season or registering players for future seasons. So if you're a Hearts of Oak fan, send me a comment. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. Hearts have now had their transfer ban lifted so they can bring in players. How do you feel about it? If you're a Hearts of Oak fan, send me a comment. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. This is the Sporty Breakfast. Let me go to the line. Let's see if we can get a reaction from Karela. They are the ones who, at least in the news reports, have been giving a FIFA ban. Let's get some reaction from Karela. Say Mubarak is joining us. He is the PRO or Public Relations Officer of Karela United Football Club. Say, good morning. How are you doing? Welcome to the Sporty Breakfast.
Granite, and good morning. I'm quite well on your side.
Yes, we are fine. Thank you. Thank you once again for speaking with us. So, say, first question, can you confirm receipt of this correspondence from FIFA? Is it something that is true and legit? Has FIFA written to Karela to inform the club of a transfer restriction?
Yeah, Nathan, I can confirm that we have received notification from FIFA. That was yesterday regarding a transfer ban relating to a matter involving a former player. So it is quite true that we have a confirmation from FIFA on that.
Okay. Now, for context, can you just explain to all of us and to everybody who's listening how this dispute between Karela and the former player, Sana Kamara, came about? Because FIFA says that there are some financial obligations that the club has to meet towards the player. So can you give us context? Who exactly is Sana Kamara and why is Karela facing this challenge of a financial duty that it must do towards the player?
Nathan, I must admit that we are surprised by the timing of the decision by FIFA because we have been in active discussions to resolve this particular issue. Yesterday, management released a statement contesting the claim and is engaging with relevant FIFA bodies, to ensure that we resolve this particular matter. In fact, Senna is a young player. Before he arrived in Ghana from Senegal with his elder brother Ali Kamara, he wasn't even up to 17 years. In fact, he was recommended to us by an agent. We brought them to Ghana. In fact, the brother came first before the start of the season, but his son joined us later on in the first half of the season. Unfortunately, we could not register him because documents we needed from Senegal to be able to register him were not forthcoming. And so we decided that, okay, since he's here, the brother is around. For the brother, we managed to get his brother registered because he's a professional player. But for Senna, he's a minor. So we took the decision that, okay, fine. Stay in Ghana whilst we, continue to get your documents so that in due course we'll be able to register you. It is not a matter of Karela owing the player. It's not a matter of Karela not paying either salaries or transfer fees. But this issue has to do with his agent's report to FIFA that we failed to register the player when we could have. And secondly, we did not allow the player to train with the squad to probably develop. They think that we had flouted some of the regulations by FIFA. We also thought that it was due anger that the agent decided to write to FIFA. So when FIFA wrote to us, we responded, and we're still in discussion to be able to resolve this particular matter. At the end of the season, for some reasons from the technical team, we thought that it would be wise, especially to terminate the contract of Ali Kamara, the elder brother. And so for him, we managed to get his deal actually terminated. But for Senna Kamara, because of his stature as a minor and other things, the agent decided that no, he could take advantage of the situation and then write to FIFA for either a ban or to probably get something from Karela. But like I said, there are other factors or other things for legal reasons because it is still being contested at the courts by the legal team of Karela United. So I'm unable to put some of these things, on air at this particular moment.
Okay.
But however, we are assuring our fans that we are doing everything possible by close of today to resolve this issue so we can continue to register players.
I see. Anyway, interesting perspective on that. So, am I to assume that you are in constant conversation with the other side, Sana Kamara, his agent, and all other parties involved?
Yeah, exactly. So the legal team, like I said, we have contacted authorities at FIFA and even at the Ghana Football Association, as well as his agent, so that we will resolve this issue. What I'm told, even before this morning, was that the financial department of Karela has been asked by the bank ruler to, as a matter of agency, gather resources to pay the fine or the charges by FIFA, so that it will give us the opportunity to continue to register, players. That doesn't actually mean that we are faulty of the charges. What it means is that it will pave the way for us to register players, so that after the transfer is over, we will actually get back to the courtroom to continue the litigation.
All right. Away from that, the season begins in 2-3 weeks, I believe. So far, how have the preps been for Karela? How are you getting ready? And what is Karela's main objective ahead of the new season? Last season, towards the end, it was down to survival. But this season, what does Karela want to achieve?
Well, Nathan, I think we did quite well last season. It was the previous 2 seasons, the 2023, 24, 24, 25 season, that we were struggling. But as for the 25, 26 season, I think we did quite well. We were ninth on the league table at the end of the season. And for me, that was quite impressive, coupled with what we had gone through in the previous 2 seasons. And so we want to do better this time around. At least I am quite sure if we had won our final game against Nations FC, we would have been talking about participating in the Galka Top 4 this time around. But nonetheless, I think that we had a fantastic season. We just returned from Sunyani, where we spent like 3 weeks, participated in the Sumpa Invitational Tournament, where we won, beating the likes of Aduana Stars, Brekum Chelsea, Bichim United, the Young Apostles, and the rest. So that gives us an impression that we are on track to getting a better season this time around. So we are in the final phase of the preseason. We are back to Tamale. We resume training today, and then we'll see. We have a few players, like I indicated earlier on. We are almost done with their negotiations. Yes, the ban has come. We are quite aware of the implication, but we are very optimistic that we'll be able to get these players through, so that they can actually join us later on in the transfer. So we are on course. We're getting back to training today, and we're looking forward to having a better season than last year.
You mentioned players. Would you want to give us a few names in terms of players who have come in, or players you are working on, and players who have left the club?
So, for sure, a few players have left, the likes of Solomon Abuaje, Richard Bekon. We have Ivan Sosewusu, and almost like 11 players were given, out by the head coach last year, at the end of last season. And so it paved the way for new players to come in. We have unveiled about 6 players so far, most of them coming from the Division 1 duo. But of course, as we speak, we're still in contact with Prince Edu of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Dauda Saka of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, Daniel Lomote, formerly of Wafa and 11 Wonders. These are few players who have, Premier League experience that we think we can bring on board to augment the squad. So we are on course, and we're hoping that when everything is cleared by FIFA after the payments has gone through, then we're looking forward to announcing them in the course of this week.
That's a very interesting crop you are bringing in, a lot of Premier League experience. Finally, Karela plays its matches at the Tamale Sports Stadium. A few days ago, the GFA announced that the ground had been giving a thumbs up. It had been approved for use ahead of the new Premier League season. What's the state of the Tamale Sports Stadium, especially the playing surface? What does the pitch look like these days ahead of the season? The season starts in about 2 to 3 weeks. So what's the state of the pitch currently?
Well, for the past 1 year, I must commend the National Sports Authority, of course, together with Karela United, because we've been very, very supportive, in putting the pitch in a very good shape for not only Karela, but other Division 1 and, of course, women Premier League clubs who are also, using the facility. At this time, when you get to the stadium, you love the grass because we are in the raining season, and of course, this is a grass. It's not from Ghana. It's let me put it an artificial one because when the Chinese brought it to Ghana, the lifespan of this grass was like 11 years. But nonetheless, management of the National Sports Authority are able to keep it in very good shape up to this particular level after 16 years of the construction of the stadium. So in the rainy season, you will love it when you come. Look, you wouldn't even bother to step onto the pitch because from afar the turf is greener. Everything is okay. So, but there are a few things that we need to work on. I think the thumbs up came as a result of things we have been able to put in place: the tunnel, the dressing rooms, the technical bench. For the turf, we have left it in the hands of the National Sports Authority, though they are getting support from us as well. So the turf is okay for us, and we're hoping that players or teams will continue to enjoy the surface when the matches are or when the matches begin. So that is the state of the Aliu Mahama Sports Stadium. I still think that for now to host international competition it will be very difficult because I do not think CAF or FIFA will approve the Aliu Mahama Sports Stadium at this particular point in time because of certain things that are supposed to be done. And we do not know. We are still campaigning. We're still trying to get government involved. We're still trying to get corporate Ghana involved to be able to put this stadium back to, the international standard so that at least once in a while, Tamale can also enjoy some international competitions. But for Premier League, I think we are ready to go.
All right. Just finally, just to circle back to the main issue concerning the transfer ban between Karela and Sana Kamara. Can you just clarify something for me? You did say that it's not an issue of the player being owed or anything, but is there a financial component of this dispute? Does Karela have any financial obligations towards the player, even though you may not owe the player, but you did bring the player in and you couldn't register? So in all of this, does Karela have to pay the player an amount of money? If yes, how much?
I might not be able to put the figure on air at this moment, but of course, the charges that came from FIFA, the response that we gave to FIFA, and that is why I stated earlier, we are a bit surprised because after responding, this is the decision that came from FIFA. I know that the player was paid not just small money, but huge, even though he did not play a single match for us, even though he did not sign a professional contract. And so we are all taken aback by this decision by FIFA. But yes, the charges came with financial obligations, which we are ready to pay, not just because we are faulty of that, but we want to do that at this moment to allow us to register the rest of the players we are negotiating with. Right after that, then the legal team will go into details of that. And we are very, very optimistic, Nathan, that we might win this particular case and then FIFA will refund our money back to us.
Okay, we'll see how it goes. I wish you the very best. Say, thank you so much for speaking with us. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of the day. I'm sure we'll speak again soon.
Thank you.
Wonderful. That was Say Mubarak. He speaks for Karela United Football Club. He's their public relations officer. He's outlined the issues clearly. He says they are working hard to put an end to this situation, resolve everything so that they can proceed with registering players and getting the club on track for the new Ghana Premier League season. I'm sure that for the people of Tamale, they would want this resolved quickly as well, because it would mean that Karela can bring in some good players and improve on the 9th place that they chalked last season, right? I remember towards the end, there was a particular game they had to play in Tema against Vision, and Semo Bike was in studio. But ultimately, they survived. I mean, the survival was not that much of a problem, but they were part of the cluster of teams that potentially could have gone down. But they ultimately survived. So at least that's the bet on Karela. Your comments are welcome. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. I asked Say to give us an update on the playing surface at Karela, which is the Aliu Mahama Stadium he did say that the surface was okay, but in terms of the bigger facility, there were still issues that needed to be resolved, right? In terms of the playing surface, he admitted that the NSA had done some work and that they were happy with the quality of the surface. But when you look at it from the wider stadium perspective, the facility itself, including the pitch, then he concedes that a lot of work will have to be done. So it leads me to ask then, how did the Aliu Mahama Sports Stadium pass the test? Because if the pitch is fine and other parts of the stadium are still not in the greatest conditions, how did they pass the test? How did the Aliu Mahama Stadium pass the test to get approval to be used for the coming Ghana Premier League season? Or is it that the club licensing department of the GFA was only interested in the playing surface, or they felt that was more of a priority? But anyway, we'll come back to that. Let's go back to the line. Let's go to Hearts of Oak. We started the show with them. Let's get some reactions from Accra Hearts of Oak. Kwame Opariado is communications manager or director at Accra Hearts of Oak. He joins us on the line to get some more perspective to the latest news we are hearing from the Phobian quarters. Kwame, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the Sporty Breakfast.
Good morning, and thanks very much.
Great stuff. So a statement came from Hearts of Oak that all matters concerning Rene Hiddink had been resolved. Kwame, can you just take us through how the resolution came about? Because we know the matter was in court. We know a few appearances had been made. But just take us through how a conclusion was reached and for Hearts of Oak to have come out of this chapter of a transfer ban.
Thanks very much, my brother, for the opportunity. Yes, it was concluded just because whatever directives that FIFA had given earlier on, that we needed to pay some sort of compensation to our former director. The club obliged some weeks ago. The club fully paid all of the amount that is involved. But then we needed to wait for the process, for FIFA to end the process and then officially notify us that the ban has been lifted. So for some weeks now, we've been waiting patiently until yesterday, yesterday, in the day that we had that communication from FIFA saying that yes, indeed, Rene, that is the technical director involved, has informed them that he's received all the full amount. So the lawyer also needed to also inform FIFA that yes, they have also received the amount. That is after we have paid some weeks ago and also informed FIFA. FIFA made it very clear that yes, even though we paid, sent them the SWIFT code and everything indicating that we have paid, we needed to make sure that the lawyer involved, that the lawyer, writes to them to let them know that yes, the one report that they brought the matter to a finality that the ban has.
Okay, Kwame, in terms of numbers, what exactly was the amount in contention that Hearts of Oak had to pay to Mr. Hiddink?
Well, these other financial issues, but I can tell you that it was over $100,000.
Okay. So it was over $100,000. So at least congrats to Hearts, that is out of the way. So Kwame, now that is out of the way, what does it mean for Hearts of Oak in terms of bringing on new players? Whilst all of this was happening, was Hearts of Oak having conversations with players, or is now that Hearts of Oak is now about to pursue its transfer targets and see if they can bring in some players ahead of the new season?
Yes, once the ban has been lifted, it means that the system has been open for us to start here. So what we are doing between now and the transfer window ends, whatever that we have to transfer market based on that, we will do that, and then we are hoping that our supporters will be patient enough to thank them for that. And what we are saying is that between now and when the transfer window ends, whoever that we bring in as an addition, or whoever that will be leaving the club, will certainly find them.
In terms of preps for the season, what exactly has Hearts of Oak been up to? What have you been up to? How have you been getting ready for the coming season, which starts in about 2 to 3 weeks?
Yes, we want to start the new season and start very well. Immediately we go into the first week, we have to hit the ground running. So we are preparing really well. So we've run a lot of programs which includes the Accra Invitational Tournament that involves House of Oak will be hosting it at our Kurumat complex. It involves Accra House of Oak, Vision FC, Port City, and Studio of Black. This tournament will start on Friday. So Friday morning at 9 a.m. Vision FC will play against Port City. Then in the afternoon at 3 p.m. on the same day, House of Oak will play against Studio of Black. Then on Sunday, the winners will play for the top award. The losers will play for the as well. So apart from that, then we still have the Democratic Cup to come that we are going to play against South Africa. That is next Friday. So all of this together with whatever that the train can use to win at the training ground, we are hoping we will most definitely shape the team for us as we qualify. So that we get well prepared before the
All right. Kwame, you mentioned the date for the Democracy Cup. Can you just mention that date again? When is that game being played?
28th of this month.
Okay.
That is, if I'm not mistaken, that's next week Friday.
Okay. Finally, Kwame.
And it will be played in Kumasi.
Okay, it will be played in Kumasi. Okay, on the 28th. Wonderful. Finally, Kwame, a few days ago, the GFA announced that 14 venues had been approved for the new Premier League season. The Accra Sports Stadium being one of those venues. Has Hearts settled on a venue? Will Hearts be returning to Legon? Will Hearts be using the Accra Sports Stadium for the new season?
Well, the Accra Sports Stadium have always been our first choice, with Legon, the alternative. In that, anytime you are filling the forms for the club, you need to indicate the first preference and then the alternative. Last season, we all remember that we needed to shift the Legon venue because the Accra Sports Stadium, there were some renovations going on the pitch, also getting it ready for the national team. So we needed to shift our attention to Legon. But we are very much hopeful that once the Accra Sports Stadium, everything is in good shape, everything in the condition is good and everything, we'll start our condition from there.
Okay. In terms of the Accra Sports Stadium, though, I'm sure you've visited the place. What's the state of the playing surface, especially? Are you satisfied with the playing surface? Does it look good enough for what you want to do this season?
Well, what we have been told, or what we are hearing, is that yes, once they keep working on it, so we are hoping that by the time September is here, when we get to the pitch to play our first match, we should be ready for us.
All right, Kwame, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Congrats to Hearts again. Now at least you can start to bring in players now that this transfer ban has been lifted. Kwame, thank you so much, and we'll speak again soon.
Thank you very much, my brother.
All right, that was Kwame Pariado. He speaks for Accra Hearts of Oak, confirming that yes, the transfer ban has been lifted. They have no more outstanding issues with Mr. Rene Hiddink, and so Hearts can move on and bring in players. 054-257-1061, 054-257-1061. You can send in your comments. I would love to gladly hear from you. If you support Hearts of Oak, if you support Karela, let me know what you think of all the chit-chat around the two teams. Camp of Asante Kotoko. Let's get to the camp of Asante Kotoko. And their head coach, Eric Tinkler. Eric Tinkler has been talking about the standard of pitches in Ghana. Okay? He was speaking after Asante Kotoko played against Bando Heart of Lions on Tuesday at the University of Ghana Stadium. Kotoko won that friendly by a 1-0. And Eric Tinkler, after the game, spoke about the state of pitches in Ghana. Now, he says the condition of pitches in Ghana must improve, and he says they must improve urgently, especially if clubs want to develop possession-based football. Especially if clubs want to develop possession-based football. We'll see if I'll see if we can get you that voice. But that's a very interesting comment. That's a very interesting comment from Eric Tinkler. He says that if Ghanaian clubs will develop a possession-based style, then they need to have better pitches. They need to have better pitches. Let me read the quotes for you, and then if my people have the audio, we'll play it. He says, quote, "At this standard, the pitches are not okay. And that's something we are working hard to have a training pitch that is of high standard and high quality. If you create that, the players will enjoy football matches and feel less pressure." End quote. Now, he went on to say that Ghana had fallen behind a number of African nations that had invested significantly in their playing surfaces and football facilities. He said, quote, "That is one thing I feel is lacking in Ghana and needs to be improved. Other countries, Cote d'Ivoire, Tanzania, Morocco, Egypt, Algeria, have pitches that are exceptional. The standards of the pitches when compared to Ghana is an area that has to improve." End quote. So Eric Tinkler says that countries like Cote d'Ivoire, Tanzania, Morocco, Egypt, Algeria all have pitches that are far, far, far better than the pitches in Ghana. And he says the standards of the pitches need to be improved. He says when you compare Ghana's pitches to a lot of those ones, Ghana's pitches have fallen way behind. Ghana's pitches have fallen way behind. And so for Eric Tinkler, he believes that the pitches will need to be improved so that Ghanaian teams can play better, so that players can give off their skills or give off the best of their abilities. This is really fascinating. Very interesting from Eric Tinkler. Some people say that he's giving excuses. He's already giving excuses in case Asante Kotoko doesn't win as much as we all expect them to win. Then he can say that is the pitches. Some people believe that no, he's not making an excuse. He's actually telling us the truth, and that pitches in Ghana have a problem. And if we don't improve on the pitches, football cannot improve. I don't know where you stand. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. 1061. Let me go through some of your comments that have come through. You can also send me your thoughts on all the things we've discussed so far. Hearts of Oak, Karela, Eric Tinkler speaking on pitches. Let me know. All right, Enoch from Trasako says, DJ Fidelis, thank you for these uplifting praises from, says Tosin B. I don't know who Tosin B is, but yeah. All right, let me go through some more messages. Okay, this one. Okay, Man Like Paps says that I don't like how Man United is being underestimated. Last season wasn't the best, but they finished third with a manager who inherited the principle of another who struggled to gain the right result with the players he had. Just one loss to Milan makes people think we are in trouble. It's funny. I admit we have problems, but this isn't more managerial, but the attitude of our players. The unserious ones, if we are able to push them out, if you are able to push them to bring the best out of them, I know we can easily win trophies as seasons come and go. Carrick is the one to push them. The more you doubt us, the more surprised you will all be this season. Okay, all right. Man Like Paps sent us that particular message. All right, let's move on to some other messages that have come through on 054 257 1061. 054 257 1061. Time check is 8:41. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. You can send in your comments on 054 257 1061. Yesterday, Rodri completed his move to Barcelona. If you're a Barcelona fan, you can also let me know what you make of that move. Are you happy with that move? Does it elevate Barcelona to a new level? Let me know. But you can also give us a call, 054 257 1061. 054 257 1061. This is the Sporty Breakfast. The lines are open. You can give us a call. We'll gladly take your phone calls and would love to hear from you. We've said a number of things this morning. We'll get to other things, but in the interim, you can give us a call. You can give us a call. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Yeah, good morning, Nathan.
Yes, good morning.
Annabelle, Makata Hill.
All right, please go ahead.
Good morning to all our listeners and our friends out there. Ima and Otumfo. It's been a while. Anyways, you see, Rodri, yesterday evening, I was on the other show. What do we call it? The Sporty Drive with Mr. Fianga and Co.
Yeah.
and you see, instead of Barca trying to get issues, instead of them getting a defender, they decided to go for another midfielder. Meanwhile, their midfield is already packed. Well, that is what they want. As for us, we the White Angels, you know, the firepower has come. So we don't care. You see, the defense was their issue from last season. As soon as the ball crossed the midfield, it becomes an issue. So the bottom line is we don't want them to come and give us excuses when the season starts and we are giving it to them. So we just want to advise them, because when it comes to the Champions League, it is only the two of us that carry the flag of Spain. So we don't want them to come and disappoint Spanish people from the initial stages. So whilst we are attacking from the left, they should also be attacking from the right in terms of the Champions League, because Arsenal is a big deal now. PSG wants to do the treble. Bayern is coming. All the teams are coming. So if you are pimping your team, you should have gotten a defender, a centre back, or out-and-out striker. Lewandowski is gone. You understand? So at least those are the positions I personally think they should have augmented. Instead of that, they want to bring their countryman, Rodri. He was eager to go. Yes, he has gotten his wish. But how about the club? Is it a good deal for them for buying a midfielder, which they already have some? That is my challenge. Aside that, let me come back to our trouble in the house. You see the NSA issue. How can you go and approve a stadium only looking at the pitch? When the people go, will they stand? Or when they sit and things happen to them, you don't care. So this country, what at all are we going to do to ourselves before we realize that we are hurting ourselves? You go and approve a stadium which has only the pitch preferred, correct. Everything there doesn't matter. Meanwhile, it is human beings that will go and sit there and watch the ball. So whatever happens to them in the stand, however the stand is looking, how dangerous or how trapped it is, you don't care. It's all about the pitch. Serious. We keep talking about this. See, one day something different will happen. We keep talking about this each and every single day. Good morning to us all.
All right, Honorable. Thank you so much for your call. 054 257 1061. I'll be going to the Zoom in a bit. I see Michael Asaibuedu's lovely face on my Zoom. Let me take my caller. Hello.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm okay. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fine this morning.
Yeah.
I complain. Yeah, Emmanuel the life.
Yes, Emmanuel, please go ahead.
Nathan, as a sports presenter, what do you need to function?
What do I need to function?
Yeah, that you know that you need it.
Oh, I know that
as you're sitting there in the studio now, what do you need?
So a computer that is working, a way to communicate with my producers and equipment that will get the show to function. Mic,
And
do you get what I mean? Headsets, those.
and your people make sure that all these things.
Yes.
So me, I don't want to complain about anything in Ghana again. Later, I don't want to complain. I don't see that thing, like, you don't see anything yet. You don't see anything. You don't see anything yet.
Oh, why?
Footballer, what do you need? You need a standard pitch to play nice football on.
Yeah, that's true.
So this one, do you have to tell you? Anything? This one, do we have to tell you? Is it that they are talking? They are laughing.
Do we have to tell who the people in charge?
You need to tell the club owners and whatever that they need good pitches for their players to play on.
No. Nobody has to tell them.
Hey, because of course, since 19 when you don't have even a good pitch to play football on. Hey, it's a football groom. This is serious. See, I don't talk anything. Then I see, Nathan. Now I'm fed up. I mean, I didn't want to complain about the signings of United, but now the team is getting out of hand.
It's getting out of hand.
See, later, we are playing in 4 competitions this season. How many players have we signed?
2.
So, later, is it okay?
2 senior players and some youngsters.
Is it okay for you?
Me? Oh, no. I want one more.
Later, our left back. You see, and we know our problem, bro. We know our problem, but we don't want to solve it. Our left back. See, I heard that Liverpool have finished the move with Adam Watkins.
Liverpool have done what?
They have finished, how do you call it? They have agreed being principal for Adam Watkins.
Really?
I heard the story.
I haven't seen, but I mean Adam Watkins is a player that some clubs like. So if Liverpool are chasing him, I think it makes sense.
We need more bodies. We need more bodies. You can't go and play Champions League with Jesus as you. We can't go and play Champions League with Jesus as you. We have only one number 9 as we talk. Benjamin Sesko.
So that is why Zegzi is there. He's the other number. He's the other. Number.
He said it's 9.5.
So
9.5.
He's not a striker. He's not a number 10. He's in between.
What's that too? Okay. Have a good morning. Why?
All right, Emmanuel. Thank you so much for the call. Time check is 8:50 or 10 minutes to 9 as some people read it. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Hello, Nathan. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
This is Nana from Odumas. It's been long that I called. Greetings to you and my brother Raymond. How is he? I've not heard from him this morning.
Raymond is fine. He's just not in the studio. He's dealing with a family issue, so he'll come back later.
Greetings to yourself and all the crew there.
Yes.
I heard what you said about Mr. Tinkler. I've actually read the story, but Raymond, the man is not trying to find some window to jump through when the going gets tough. He's telling you the problems that are there, and it's not as if this is new. We know, even with our national teams, we know. Later, when in this country, when Thomas Partey told the vice president that all the Black Star players need is a good pitch to play football on. They don't need anything from you people.
That is very true.
Just get them a good pitch so they can play good football for Ghanaians to enjoy. Nathan, the last time South Africa hosted a big tournament was in 2010, the World Cup, true or false?
2010.
And since then, since then, these people have been using the same stadium for their leagues.
They hosted the AFCON in 2013 too. So.
Yeah, 2013, but I didn't want good. I'm talking about the major tournament that they hosted, which is the World Cup.
Yes.
Yeah? Because Ghana, our biggest will be the 2008 AFCON that we hosted.
Exactly.
Good. So the reason I'm using that and not going to the AFCON is because that's our biggest. And for them, that will obviously be their biggest in 2010. Nathan, you've been to Cape Coast to watch the stadium there. You've gone to Takoradi. When you go to Tamale, it's the same. Let's not even talk about Accra, where we call it Wembley. That thing there is not Wembley. Nathan, you've traveled around. The stadium we have at Accra Sports Stadium would not even be used by a Division 2 team in Europe. Because it doesn't meet the standard. For how many years have we been here where government will have to lobby and find means and ways for we to play either Kumasi or Accra? Because we don't fit the standard. We don't match it. When you go to Senegal, Nana, as I'm talking to you, they have a very nice edifice. What is happening to us? And the coach is telling you, people are saying, "Up a window at champion film." Now compare car and Vaningo Airport. When you had a proper CEO who had vision to make Kotoko better, they changed the man out. When David Obinyaku came, within just a month or two, we've seen improvement. You've seen differences when you go to Kotoko social media and what branding means. Nathan, the problem we have in this country, I've said it and I've wrote it on my timeline severally, Nathan, it has got nothing to do with the FA president. If we take it out and put you, Nathan, there, which I know you are astute, you can do it. If we put you there, the people that have teams that call themselves so-called people, Nathan, they will not allow you to work. Because, one, we've gone out there and we've approved stadiums. Those things are not stadiums, Nathan, they are parks. They don't even qualify to play proper Premier League games, Nathan. They don't qualify. Until recently, Accra Sofok was moving from Lotteries Park, they go to Queen's, they move to here, they move to Ewak. Until recently that they had to wait. Now go to Pobima. That is what we call a proper Premier League structure. But you have all these people calling themselves football people, owning teams, and they are putting people's children on pitches that they are not supposed to train on. How do you expect this boy to go to Europe for trial and be able to perform? Because he's playing on military. He is playing on military. So if they pass the ball before he breaks the ball, he will hit some stone and jump. You are here saying the player is not a good player. You send the player to Egypt, Ethiopia, those leagues, and within 6 months, 3 months, his contract has been terminated, he's back, and you are blaming the player. No, he's a good player, but he's not getting the fundamentals right in this country because we don't have proper pitches. A team like Asante Kotoko, 100 and what years, and you don't have, the coach is telling you, and people are saying, "Oh, pe window a champion." No, me, I've said this several. Until we change the constitution to suit whoever that comes there, these same people telling us they are football people. Nathan, are they not the ones, the club owners? Are they not the ones that are supposed to get proper pitches for their players to play on?
Yeah, that's true.
But what are they doing? Nothing. At the end of the day, when it's time for Congress, they go and sit there and do yeah. Meanwhile, the old players can't even get players. Nathan. We know the economy is hard. You can't pay them, no problem. They are not complaining. Pitch can come about good football on it, so that they can get better videos and give their agents so they can get better class for them to play. So it's a problem in this country. Why? Why are we doing this to our league? Why? Why can't Mr. Ketokoko and the people there? I don't even want to talk about Gaka because that thing I don't even want to talk about it. Why can't these people just sit down and realize, say, listen, we don't need anything from you as a supporter. I just want good football to watch and no one in Yami. So why don't you make things available? Nathan, I know you follow leagues. When you go to the Zambians and the Tanzanian league, they don't have a lot of pitches like we do here.
Yeah, they don't.
When you go to Ethiopia, some of them, they gather the teams. Some of them play at 10 a.m., 12 a.m., 3 a.m. on the same pitch. Why? Because Super Sports is telecasting it. And they know the impact that will make and the money they and Nathan, what we are doing in this country, Nathan, sometimes the owner, sometimes Nathan, you realize these people are just, they own, Nathan, see, they will gather some players somewhere. One or two will come, they go and sell the player. My former team like this, the man will go and sell the player, come back. You see today he's driving Tundra. The next time he travel and come back, no, he's buying Range Rover. Then we the players, our salary we can't get. But when you talk, they'll say you're a senior player, you are disrespectful. Then they'll put that in their Goro boys on the media. Then they will say, this player, he doesn't respect, he's disrespectful, he's doing woman matter, he's a womanizer, he's a drunkard. They will do that, then the media will put that in the minds of the supporters. Then some of them they'll buy into it, then they'll sack that old player out. All because the old player has seen the rot in the team and he's speaking about it. Nathan, this our league there. There's nothing like Ghana League. Until recently that they started playing Nathan.
There's nothing like Ghana League?
The teams that are doing football in this country, proper football in this country in our Premier League, are not up to 5. Nathan, you watch football. If you want to know those that are doing proper football, they are in the lower divisions.
Well, yeah, that is why. That's why these days all the transfers or most of the transfers are all Division 1.
Centered on the low. Yes, I don't want to mention names. Yate, you let me use Yate Cheetah FC. When Cheetah sell player, you can go to Brekusu and see what the man is doing. What's the name? This Abuna Swego. Go and see. Mm-hmm. But we're in this country, Alhaji Gusa has been to the World Cup how many times? How many money has he taken from the GS? 100,000. Give us an idea of a training pitch. Not even not go to Kotoko House. They are the most disgraceful clubs in the country now. They are disgraceful. Kotoko House. Can they compare themselves? No. Kotoko House to what for right to drink? Can they? Let me even go there. Go to Accra Lions. When was Accra Lions formed? Can these two clubs compare themselves to them? Even the Medic club recently that came. Go there and check. Mm-hmm. Because these are Premier League people. I'm saying the club owners, those Premier League club owners, all they care about is their personal pocket, not the players playing football on the pitch. Mm-hmm. That is what they care about. Because if they really love football, you will not sell 3 players and be making money and still going about renting training pitches. No. Yauda brought Dabu Soccer Academy. Yeah. Dabu sold 2 players or 1 player. Dabu went and got an acre of land. This is a visionary person. If Dabu is to sell 3 players, you can imagine the plans he have for the youth coming. This guy is ready to invest. He is not there for his stomach. But the people we have there are Neta. Neta, no matter what.
Yo, amen. 054-257-1061. Time check is 8:58. I'll get to Michael Asai-Bredu in a second. Get his thoughts on a number of things. We'll talk some transfers as well. It looks like Aston Villa are hunting for goalkeepers. It looks like they want to sign goalkeepers in this window. We'll talk about that. Let me take this final caller and then we'll proceed with the show. Hello.
Nata, my own.
Yes, sir.
Nata, my guy.
Chairman, how be?
Ali, bro. Good morning, bro.
Good morning.
Charlie, my shout out to Raymond.
Yes.
Raymond, Imo, are we more
oh, yes. Imo, they around. Imo, champion producer. They around.
Champion Imo. And Mike, I also forget Mike as well.
Yes.
Isn't Ghana? Me, I promise myself that I will not discuss anything about Ghana again.
Why? Is Ghana not your country?
Yes, it's our country. But we talk tired. We talk every day. We are speaking about Ghana every day. They are doing the wrong every day. We are saying it, but they are not doing anything. See, it's like they don't care. They are doing like I don't care. If you can tell you something, see, only Ghana that we are hearing that things are pulling up in the league every season. See, last 2 seasons, 2 teams pull up in the league. You see, only Ghana that this is happening. Do you hear this thing in Morocco or others? Only Ghana. See, so Ghana, they are not running football. They are just playing. See, I don't know. Charlie, for me, I don't want to say anything concerned about Ghana again. But like Emmanuel Free, it's true. Charlie, we are tired. All the time we are complaining, but nothing is going on. It's like that they are doing. I don't care. See, this is Charlie, we go talk Charlie. Let me go to my club level. Man City. Man City is my team.
Yeah.
See, but the way they are doing their things right now, I'm not comfortable. I'm not okay with them.
Why? What's wrong? What is wrong?
See, this Stefano guy we are playing as a right back. The guy is not a right back. He's a centre back.
Yeah.
Right now, Pep Guardiola is using the guy over there. You, Marika, you come. You have to find a solution for them before you keep. But you don't find any solution. You just come inside there. You are using the guy as a left back. You see, as a right back. You see, the guy is not a right back. But you are using the guy as a right back. Where you know that the guy is not the right back, find a solution for them before you keep. See, right now, they are not talking anything about the right back. Even the left back, right, we don't get. The left back that we have is Aki. Aki is not there. He's not more there. Aki is good. It's gone. So you have to find a solution for that place, 2 places, before you go to the midfield and things. See, Charlie, I say, Haaland, without providing for Haaland is useless on the pitch. So if you always see the competition, Haaland is just useless. If you are not providing for Haaland will not show. See, that's why I said it. We have to find a good midfielder and things. If you not we are going this league with nothing. We are not taking anything. We have any top 4 crowd we have. So this this guy is not the right man for the job. They have to go and find some option for them. Like this, are you body guy? They for bring down. Okay, let's say this Fernandez guy, Enzo Fernandez guy, if we make a word and take that one, go to Adam. Maybe we'll do something. If you know, Charlie, we'll go with the headache, bro. That's my decision. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Time check is 2:09. Okay, let me take this last caller. And then we'll
need time.
Hello.
If you don't take me like you go pay me, Papa.
Oh, man. Michael, please go ahead.
Everything cool. The time I said this be the last square. The way my heart's coaching. I swear.
All right, Michael, I beg. Where you go?
Easy. You know something? I want to speak to Annabelle Small. When say a cousin book, you say, Opa, Buana, when you're now, what's in a home? As I say, also almost a road. Omenya, in Davila, you have made for this. Epocra and Sotogun, and I'm what? In the end, we know say when a problem with the defense. What does it? Omono Moka say Omo defense, Papa, and I could not and Arudiga. They went trophless for the past 2 seasons. Better defense. You have gone trophless for 2 seasons. So we are more allowed they could know in Ejuma. In the last minute transfer, no. What I say, BBA beat me. Alvarez will come. Maybe go fish another defender. What I say, that is on the side. You see, when Eric Tinkler made that statement that our pitches are no good, we had some sports journalists on the other side bashing the coach that he's creating the window so that when Kotoko start losing matches, you see that's our pitches are no good. But then these same journalists were here. They were complaining that Ghana is going to play matches outside the country. They were complaining. What double standards now? But as a coach, we buy back kind of they also open window Ghana. But then Ghana, FIFA, CAF, young boy matches outside Ghana. We were here bashing the NSC, left, right, center, say our pitches are no good. What a problem now? You see our problem. But I say, this is what our local coaches can see. Because once a Bruno Bar, he's not under any influence. He's doing his work. If he says the thing as it is, but that's on hardening Danny. But that's any problem. Coaches, local coach, but at the end of the day, football and Crampo fees on the ton matches Emma coaching. And they don't believe in the work of the coach. But Bruno no bar who believe in the tactics on Fasa, ways and means new fan who believe in pure football tactics, discipline. I was only training, I was only enough rest. I was on the DA. What I say, no, this had me, Juma, but then, local coaches, no, I did be over from the try. What I say, Sassimo kind and to do from top to down, say, I do no credit. There is no standard football stadium in Ghana. A beer no. What I say, I feel no wonder Baba Yara, NSC war, or say be a bit a year for next month, a international window. A country like Ghana. Awaji Afcon Makomako for only correct standard page back. Mali Crampo will be Angola, Tanzania. Countries so we are not talking about Morocco, Egypt, because Real Madrid now be camping with Morocco. What I say Barcelona bit Nyaba. What I say in compare on Cote d'Ivoire show. Ivory Coast ye higher o Felugo higher we do shade Ivory Coast you. But Ghana, you need even a stadium back with international matches. That's a coach. You have the young style of football. You say, made for this. I can't say, I grow born. So, you showcase a talent on the foot. Once a while, we record the Brazilians of Africa. It's here, because the food, your pitches name, my players need showcase your talent. You should be a bit as a coach need to window. Because years ago, no more press Ghana. Any question could boy matches for outside. Now, Yinjina Ghana, young make sure to be in a stadium was in Apple. Now, so coach, we have no subject kind of national. Mujana more bashing is open window. What a problem, your problem, no one. What I say, no Ukrainian to me, but local coaches will be near Sena, near permanent. Coach will know a kind of natural. So, permanent will be in so kind of natural from the start. onim so kan kwan che o se mo pitches na enye into Emma players into me so kesi ko no person on beautiful football o person possession based football na last time we share Premier League bi match bi ye pass ball now before the ball be do player e be huri be 5 times as na ball na ba pick back pitch back o pass ball now before the ball be do player na no it me huri be 5 times Emma play new because in the basa de bia area bon kwan ebo Emma bon in ka obi ntumi ntwa enfan to like outside mo bia so hwe say e bia Ghana Premier League because e bia bon in namlem sa but they hwe EPL o hwe La Liga bon na da form Pedro Jibo dan o control ball we Jibo control ball the Karela Jibo control ball they are not better than us but then omo better facilities are you omo talent ni pi what I say omo better pitches are you talent ni pi because you share player be ball power outside practice akwawi pa de and better facilities for what power but you can go to me border what I say but then you are limited in so big ba na so be can we see in take it because okay we are baby and why the be what prompt we should work towards sadden. What I say, never improvement and be game, number in. What I say, but that's later. I'm sure.
Michael, I'm sure. Time check is 8 minutes after 9. Let's proceed. Michael Asaibedu is joining in. I can see his, his lovely face on my Zoom. Michael, good morning. How are you doing? Okay, Michael, I don't know if you are muted from your end, but my production, can we please check Michael's audio? I can't seem to hear Michael currently. I can't seem to hear Michael. We'll work the line and see if we can hear. Time check, it's 8 minutes after 9. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. So many interesting things. There are some there's some, transfer business happening. I said Aston Villa are quite busy. So this is what Aston Villa have been up to in the last few moments. They've completed the signing of Japanese number 1, Zion Suzuki. And they've also brought in Matteo Ruggeri. Matteo Ruggeri is joining from Atletico Madrid. And he's joining in. He's viewed as the replacement for Lucadine. Lucadine has gone back to Paris Saint-Germain. And so Ruggeri, he's coming in, 24-year-old Italian. He's joining from Atletico Madrid. He previously played for Atalanta. He's been playing for Atletico for a while. And now he joins Aston Villa as a replacement for Lucadine, who's moved on to Paris Saint-Germain in France. Now, Pervis Estupiñán was on Aston Villa's radar, but they decided to pivot and go for Matteo Ruggeri from Atletico Madrid. Let me see if I can hear Michael. Michael, good morning once again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I can hear you. Can you also hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You've been listening in on the conversation. I don't know which of the things you want to touch on. I spoke to our very good friends at Hearts of Oak. They confirmed that, yes, they have finished paying off Mr. Hiddink. And so now they can register players. The people at Karela also confirmed receiving the letter from FIFA on their transfer restriction, but they are saying that they are working around the clock to resolve the situation, and they'll soon be out of the woods. And then there's the Eric Tinkler bit about pitches not being in the best condition. He says Ghana is behind. Let me go back to the story. He says Ghana is behind countries like Tanzania and Algeria and Cote d'Ivoire and Co. in terms of the pitches. I don't know if you want to have a bite on all of these things or there's a specific thing that has caught your attention.
Well, I think it's good news as a folk have finally resolved their issues with Mr. Hiddink. And again, it feeds into the whole conversation that they were hell-bent on turning around the corner and then constituting their team in the way that will help their new coach, Nibosa Kapor. I think under the current House of Folk managerial structure, what they intend doing is to establish a young core, a team that they can actually build with patience and with a certain sporting idea, so that in the next 2-3 years, they will become as competitive as ever. That is not to say they will not compete this season. It is just to say that the primary focus will be on putting together a team, building on what they did well last season, righting the wrongs of what did not really go in their favor last season, and then making sure that they show up in a better situation, in better condition, and with a new technical direction, they will be able to actually portray a certain image as to how the club is being run and how they expect their team to play in the games that they will be engaged in. So it was only proper that they sorted out these issues that prevented them from being able to sign players and register players. With the previous sanctions that was imposed on them, they could only sign players. And I can confirm to you that House of Folk had signed no less than 4 players. And then now, with the green light, they can go ahead to register them on the transfer system, and then they can also play for the club when the new season starts. So I think it is good news, but they need to pray against some of these occurrences. When you establish contracts or you draw up contracts with parties, you are supposed to honor your contractual obligations. You are not supposed to put the other party in a situation where they have to activate several measures to just get their money. In the case of Rene Hiddink, it was about FIFA, it was about going to court, and I don't think it was worth it. These are situations that can be handled through negotiations or mediation. And I think as a folk really had to learn it the hard way. Maybe going forward, they will not repeat some of these things. Karela, I also think that they wanted to play a fast one, and time caught up with them. They were exposed.
How so? How so?
I don't really want to delve into details, but they maybe saw it as an opportunity to just have their way against players they thought would not have the best of representation, just treat them anyhow, and then at the end of the day, it becomes business as usual. Unfortunately for them, these players decided to activate the right powers. They decided to consult the right people, and then they took the club on. I think they shouldn't have allowed this happen. And again, you find some of these activities or these actions of the actions of some of these clubs very common on the local front. They do it to a lot of players. There are ways where clubs try to act smart, but again, in the current dispensation of football administration, you'll be found out if you try to go the old way, because the system is now computerized. It is a system where it is tracking almost every development. So you cannot do something against a party and expect to go scot-free. The moment the system records it, the moment a complaint is filed, trust me, the system will proceed the matter to its letter. And I think it is a reason some of these clubs are not escaping whatever tender is happening to them. I think in recent times, what some other clubs have decided to do in case of trying to do with players they see as not fit enough for the project is maybe let the players go train with their junior sides, like we are seeing with Asante Kotoko and Emmanuel Entry. But that aside, the whole system of cutting players loose, trying to change them, I think the system has found a way to establish common grounds or a level playing ground. And it is favoring not just the clubs, it is favoring the players as well, and almost every stakeholder involved in the football ecosystem. So just do your things right and you'll be free. And Karela, they will need to do the right thing, and then whatever ban has been imposed of them would be revoked. And I think that's what I have to say. In the case of Eric Tinkler, I think it just spoke the truth everyone knows. I don't know why there is a different reaction. Yes, the quality of our pitches is not up to the standard. And I
also found the opposing or the reaction quite interesting. That why people, I've heard some people say, "Oh, he's trying to make excuses," and I found that reaction very odd. Like, it's not like he's saying that, "Oh, we haven't signed players," he's saying that playing surfaces are not of the greatest quality. How is this an excuse for when the problems show up? We've all said it. So is it because it's Tinkler who is saying it that it sounds strange? I wonder.
There was one particular comment I read which suggested that he is coming from Asante Kotoko. They don't even have a better training facility, and why is he complaining? And I was like, if you had paid attention to the context from which he was speaking, he says it is difficult to develop a player looking at the surfaces that we play on. If you teach players how to do certain things, it takes them quite a while for them to come to do it, actually. So he's not questioning the technical ability of a Ghana Premier League player. He's rather questioning the surfaces that they play on and how it helps or does not help the player to practice what they learn from coaches. And he was speaking in the context of the Kotoko players. He says he feels for them that they are not able to do everything that the team expects of them because there is a very huge obstacle that cannot be cleared anytime soon. So he was not even trying to jibe Ghana Premier League clubs and their pitches. He was speaking in the context of Kotoko, that it is difficult for him to train the team according to his methods. And who is Tinkler? He's coming from a jurisdiction that manages their pitches properly. Even the average community pitch you find in South Africa has a better playing surface than almost 60-70% of the playing surfaces we find in Ghana. So he's coming from a jurisdiction that has a certain practice, that has a certain managerial system, that has a certain infrastructure that allows for coaches to train players in a hassle-free manner. But he comes to Ghana and he suffers a shock. One, Adakwajache, their first encounter with the playing surface meant that they tasked officials to work on it. And I can confirm works are ongoing on the Adakwajache pitch to ready it. It is not just a Tinkler thing. When Ogun came in a second stint, they wanted to improve the playing surface. And so Adakwajache has 2 training pitches. So they decided to use one and then improve the surface of the other for a time period. Zito came, the same thing. Zito passed a comment where he said, in a conversation with the GFA president, Kurt Okraku, he questioned why the training facility of Kotoko was in that shape or condition. He questioned why the grass at the Adakwajache had grown to a manner where it was unpleasant. And these are different coaches giving different accounts. Again, during the time of Nana Amponsa, when they brought on Mariano Barreto, he passed similar comments about Kotoko's training facility. So I can count like 4 different coaches who have taken charge of Kotoko in the last 7-8 years, passing comment about the state of their training facility and why it needs to improve to befit the status of a club. So Eric Tinkler saying something similar is nothing different from what almost everybody knows regarding Asante Kotoko. But why are we reacting that way? Away from the Kotoko training facility bit to the playing surfaces in the Ghana Premier League, it has become a recurring problem. It is a perennial discussion that we have. At the start of every season, we are actually concerned about the playing surfaces here in the country. We were here and CAF revoked the license for the Baba Yara, and the playing pitch was part of it. We have been here where coaches have come with different national teams, and at the end of their games, they raise concerns regarding the quality of the playing surface at the Baba Yara Stadium. The same applies to the Accra Sports Stadium. And so let's not make it look like the coach is trying to hide behind certain excuses, and so if his team does not perform, he will pin it towards that. No. His truth is, the Kotoko team are not able to do what he expects of them in terms of the players. And one of the major concerns
is the playing surface.
That the playing surfaces is a problem. Let's accept it that way. And then let's look at the whole issue holistically. Let's look at it from the general perspective. Do we have poor playing surfaces in Ghana? The answer is yes. How do we improve it? And that is why I think mostly we get a diagnosis wrong. We try to do more of blame games, fault finding, rather than looking at the solutions and how the management structure works. I have not seen anywhere in the world where the Football Federation or the association will build pitches and they will own the pitches and manage the pitches. I've spoken about three things. Building the stadium or the parks, they will own the stadium or the parks, and they will manage the stadia or the parks. I have not seen anywhere in this world that such a practice exists.
Okay.
If you go to Spain, the clubs like Real Madrid, at a point in time, acquired the facility from either the state, the government,
or the city council.
Yeah, exactly. So they acquired the stadium, and then they take ownership, manage it. But in managing it, the club either hires the expertise of a private facility or a private entity to come and use the expertise to manage or to help the pitch surface and everything. And so you know that they have clearly specialized the roles. But I don't even want to go to Europe because their standards are very high. And I doubt if there will be an establishment in Africa that can match the standards of Europe. Maybe the closest will be Morocco and what they are doing. But even in Morocco, the massive infrastructural uplift that we see is as a result of a vision of the throne. So it is a pure state thing. Russia, Casablanca, without Casablanca, the Rabat clubs like FAR Rabat, FUS Rabat, FAT Rabat, they don't own their own stadium. They don't. They are using state facilities.
Yeah.
And you've been to Morocco, I've been to Morocco, and we can confidently say that there is a responsible body that takes charge of the management of the various facilities we see in Morocco. And so, for instance, I think the name is Sonages or but it is in French, Sonages, and it reads something like they take charge of the. I want to find the real. So Sonages, I think that's the name. SONARGES, and they manage any sport infrastructure in Morocco. As a national company for the construction or the development and management of sports.
Yes.
And they manage over 90 sports facilities nationwide. That includes the football stadiums we see, and then the indoor and the other outdoor sporting facilities.
So they are equivalent. So if you like, they are, well, you can call it the equivalent of the NSA, but they.
Fantastic.
Yes. So their mandate is building and managing sports facilities.
Yes.
So that is their mandate.
In this case, if Morocco has to build the stadium, I don't think they would take out the consultation period. They would take out Sonages.
No.
And then go and do their own thing.
No.
In Ghana.
Yes.
Where the state had this vision of building artificial turfs, but they decided to award contracts differently and not even engage the NSA or the GFA. It has not worked that way. Now we know that right after the AFCON 2025, which Morocco hosted, their next plan is to host the World Cup as part of a 3-nation thing, together with Portugal and Spain.
Spain, yes.
They decided to have subdivisions of sports management entities. So aside Sonages, they have set up technical groups to also look at the management of other sports management companies. And this was set up right after the AFCON 2025 in February 2026. So if you go to Casablanca, they have the Casa Region Sports SA. If you go to Tangier, they have the Tangier Region Sports SA. If you go to Fes, there is a Fes Region Sports SA. Marrakech has their own Marrakech Region Sports SA. And then Agadir also have their Region Sports SA. Why did they do this? Now, due to the AFCON 2025, they built new facilities and upgraded the old facilities in these regions: Marrakech, Agadir, Fes, Tangier, and then Casablanca. So these 5 regional sports management companies have been put directly in charge of those facilities, and that they are supposed to team up with Sonages and manage it as and when. So if you go to Agadir, that facility will serve the purpose of the football clubs in Agadir, of which one of them is in the Botola League. If you go to Marrakech, they will definitely find another Marrakech team, which is Kokab Marrakech. They will use the facility, but there is a management body that is suited to that region. So let's say if it was in Ashanti region, and there is Asante Kodoko. Then we played the AFCON 2025. They uplifted the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. Aside the NSC, then the Ashanti Regional Council will have to form a sports management body that will have the task of also managing the new Baba Yara Sports Stadium. So they team up with the NSA and they have quotas. So for instance, the relevant regional councils have been set up. They own or they manage 22.5% of the new stadium that have been set up. The Moroccan state will still have a 50% stake in these bodies. And then the FA, which is the Royal Moroccan Football Federation, will also own like 17.5. And then the municipality will get 10%. So in this contest, let's say the new Baba Yara will have 50% of it being owned by the state. And that is when the NSA will wait on the government subventions and the payments that government will need to make to them to manage the facility. Then the regional council will have 22.5. So it means locally, they will want to pool resources together. The regional sports council that has been set up will have to look out for some of the benefactors in the region who are keen on helping the mandate of that body to maintain or manage the new Baba Yara. And then they'll be given a certain benefit, which can be sponsors, where their image, their logos, their brands can be placed on the walls of the stadium in terms of naming rights as well, or even used in terms of billboards within the stadium or the hoardings that we see. Then the Royal Moroccan Football Federation will bring on their technical expertise. So we have club licensing in the GFA. So there will be a regional club licensing body that together with the NSA will be looking at the facility, manage it, and know the periodic update or update they need to make. So I think they consistently, aside Sonages doing a solid job in Morocco, they are consistently monitoring and updating how they manage their facilities. But we have been stuck in the old days. I don't remember the last time there was a reform as regards the NSA. The only thing I remember was the change of name from the Sports Council to the Sports Authority. But even with that, to what extent do they wield that authority to manage the facility in an efficient manner? They will go for longer periods, and subventions that are even supposed to be paid to them to manage the facility does not come from government. They are not empowered enough. And you see, mostly we try to push the blame to the NSA. I think it is high time we stop and look at rather the problem. What is the commitment of the state? What is the commitment of the government? And by saying this, I don't mean the current government. Past and previous government, what have been their commitment towards putting in enough resources, equipping the NSA in terms of technical expertise and competence? It does not stop anybody. Let's say government decides that we have seen what Morocco is doing. We want to learn from them. So through the sports ministry, with support from the Ministry of Finance, we are commissioning a team from Ghana, selected from the NSA, to go to Morocco, learn the best practices, tap into their expertise, and bring them back to Ghana to improve how we manage our facilities. I don't think these are things we should be doing, building the technical capabilities of the NSA so that it comes to a point where we don't have to question them all the time. Are they fit enough for purposes?
Yeah.
Recently, we were ridiculing some images that came out that people were using hose
and cutlasses and rakes and knives to try and get the Baba Yara.
That happened even in Morocco. I saw them use hose and rakes at a point in time.
Yeah.
It is not everything that you use sophisticated gadgets. Yesterday, there were images that were floating from Spain about Rayo Vallecano putting in place, and you saw people using rakes and wheelbarrows.
Exactly.
So I don't know. Again, have we built the technical capacities of the NSA to ensure that the persons that they use to develop or manage these facilities are well abreast with the modern standards? Have we done that as a state? No. And it will shock you to know that there should be such an opportunity. So far as there are opportunities for members of parliament, ministers, government officials or appointees to tap into scholarships and go and upgrade themselves abroad. why can't we provide such opportunities for NSA staff to also go and upgrade themselves?
Yeah.
Why are we not building their capacity? So we want to consistently, almost every year, almost every time, the slightest, we have a go at them. If we think they are not competent, what have we done to build their competence? That is one thing we need to seriously look at. Again, localizing sports management bodies in Ghana or sports facility management bodies in Ghana. I think we should try and do that. So the NSA has an Ashanti Regional Directorate, but the whole body is so centralized. Where do their monies come from? I don't think they have their own account they operate. Everything will have to come from the main one, which is in Accra.
Yeah.
And the bureaucracy and everything, it delays the processes. So if they will need this amount of money, they will need to trigger the process. The board will have to sit on it and then decide to release funds. Why can we not allow regional bodies to run, and then there will be a supervisory body that will keep them in check in terms of finances? They will be accountable. They will be financially responsible. In terms of technical expertise, there will be a supervisory body, but they are allowed that freedom to operate, go manage, find their own finances, or be able to collect funds and then manage facilities. There was a brief period during the time of Professor, the former NSA boss who was initially booted out.
Professor Chumesi.
Professor Chumesi. There was a brief period where there was an allowance for regional bodies to gather their own funds and then manage the facility. And that was a period where I saw the Baba Yara being run at its efficient best. Almost every issue that came up, it was sorted. And I know this because I was a first-hand person. I was able to observe, I was able to inspect, and then I was able to monitor the rapid growth in terms of management of the facility. Since issues reverted to how the structure has worked, it has gone back to the old days where bureaucratic measures would delay the pace at which work is done. And then they don't even have enough funds to come on board. At a point in time, the proceeds realized from the Ghana versus Nigeria playoff game, after 2 years, had not been paid back to the Ashanti Regional NSA. After 2 years.
2 years.
And
so which means that the proceeds were paid sometime in 2024.
I don't know if they've been paid fully. Because at a point in time, they owed electricity, and it's because they were waiting for some of these monies. We've done a report regarding this. The NSO owing electricity. At a point in time, the ECG having to cut off power.
Yes.
So money is not coming. And if you go deeper and understand the plight of these regional authorities, those in charge of the SA at the regional level, you would really have to sympathize or empathize with them. Know that it is not their fault. There is no money. The state has decided to not really care. But when it is that there is an immediate cause or an immediate international assignment, they expect them to work magic. First, the subvention is not enough, and then the subventions are not even paid on time. It might be throughout the whole year, and the money will not even come. So the foremost thing is that the whole idea, the whole thinking, the whole mentality behind sports facilities in Ghana and its management, the state need to change how they think and how they see it. We are here in 2026, and government in power is bothered about building 3 new facilities when we haven't even structured the management of facilities nationwide, and then put the other 4 in the right shape. The sports minister went to Esipon. Promises were made. What is the state of the facility now? What is the progress in terms of the work being done? Baba Yara, they came to take seats from here and send them to Accra to make sure the Black Stars can play an international game. Those seats have not been returned. The last time they told us they had made a request for further seats and that they have proceeded with the order. So the seats were coming. It's been 5 months. The last time the NSA director was here, he said, oh, the seats will come. So as it stands, the Baba Yara does not have standard seating for the bench, the technical
area, yes,
to host an international game. Why do we keep doing this to ourselves? Common seat, technical dugout. It's taken us more than 5 months. The minister saw that Ibrahim Traore had contracted some foreign contractors to come and develop the stadium in Burkina Faso. He was interested. He brought them to the Baba Yara Sports Stadium to observe. He took them nationwide to observe our facilities. What has become of that exercise? What has become of it? So the point is, it is easy to pick out, Ghana Football Association, what are you doing? It is easy to pick out the clubs. The monies that clubs in Morocco make, they are not even able to build their own stadium. The best they can do is to make sure they set up standard training facilities, which we have to task our clubs to do. House of Folk have taken the step ahead. They have a wonderful training facility, which they keep on improving year after year. Kotoko, it is the training facility at Adakoja. It does not befit the status Kotoko. We need to tax them to do more. At Obuasi, Ash go to have one of the best stadia and then training facility, because it has already been set up. It was set up by the parent company then, who were serious about sporting infrastructure and then how it is tied to football development. Midyema, gradually through the help of Gold Fields and other mining companies and then other sponsors, they've been able to put up what they have now. Aside the TNA stadium, they have a befitting training facility. Gradually, they have seen progress. Summer Boy, if you go there, Samates have done similar. The Century Sports Arena or Sports Complex, and then their training facility. So you can see that there have been improvements, and we should continue to encourage the clubs. But the state is the major stakeholder that must drive the kind of infrastructural change that we want. If the state does not do it, if government does not do it, trust me, we will be talking about these things almost every day, because our clubs don't make enough money. The money that we make in the current football dispensation, it is mostly for investment in your training facilities, investment in talents, investment in administration, making sure you are getting the best of people. We should not worry ourselves that Kodoko should go and build their own stadium. Government must be doing that. And it is part of what they owe to citizens.
Yeah.
It is part of government responsibility. It is what they owe to us. It is not like they are doing the clubs a favor. They are doing Ghanaians what they must do to ensure that you feel and you enjoy your right as a citizen of Ghana. Must we beg for some of these things? And almost every time, politicians, and they come and they play games with us. Let me digress a bit from sports. Look at the Accra-Kumasi Road. Construction started under the former government. The new government comes and they want to construct their own expressway when they have not even completed what is supposed to be done. It is the same attitude towards sports. You have not fully upgraded the standard of the 4 stadia we have in the country. You are thinking about building 3 new facilities. Let's be serious in this country.
Time check is 9:39. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. You can send in your comments 054-257 054-257-1061 054-257-1061. All right, Michael, let's talk some transfers. Some very interesting news coming in. Aston Villa look very busy. They look very busy. They've managed to bring in Zion Suzuki, Japan's national number 1 goalkeeper. They've also brought in Matteo Ruggeri from Atletico Madrid as a replacement for Luka Dean. There's some talk concerning Oli Watkins and whether he leaves or stays. Al Hilal, according to stories, are very, very interested in Oli Watkins. And then Villa have also agreed a deal to bring in West Ham's Aaron Wan-Bissaka on a loan with an obligation to buy at the end of the season. Villa are quite busy. Their team has had, challenges in terms of players leaving. Lots of players left without a fight from the club. Yuri Tillemans's release clause was activated. They lost Luka Dean, and now they've been trying to replace a lot of these players. Just quick thoughts on the kind of business Villa want to do. It looks like they want to sign as many players as they can in a very short time.
Yeah, I think they are trying to transition from one team to another team. And again, you have to give credits to Unai Emery. He's a bigger personality at Aston Villa. If they're able to maintain him and then they build the squad according to how he wants to work, I think he will deliver. And talk about players who have gone out. I think it is important to note that almost every player who has left the club has been replaced one way or the other. So for transfer out, the deal for Zion Suzuki was done with the expectation that Emi Martinez was going to move to Juventus. Mm-hmm. And that ended up being a disappointment because eventually Juventus pulled out of the deal and they went for Vicario from Spurs. So now they have to worry themselves with the way forward. They will still want to have to look for suitors for Emi Martinez. I think almost every summer transfer in the last 2 or 3 seasons is been subject of interest. Eventually he has to be convinced. And Villa knows that with such a player, you can't actually trust him for the long term. So even before he leaves, or even if he does not leave, Zion Suzuki comes in and then can challenge Emi Martinez for the number 1 spot and can also be a viable understudy. So that by the time that Villa decides to finally move Emi Martinez on, Suzuki will slot in very nicely. And at times, players can do well. I saw him at Parma. He was excellent in the Serie A. But when you make that leap from Parma to Aston Villa, from the Serie A to the Premier League, it can look very overwhelming at times. So you need to transition slowly and then progressively so that you can pick up in terms of the dynamics around the league, around the club. And by the time that you are finally settled, you can go on to show the quality that you have. But Morgan Rogers was farmed out. And who did they decide to bring on board? They have brought on board Juan Mazambi from Freiburg, who was excellent in that run that Freiburg made all the way to the final of the Europa League. And I think Villa was able to encounter him firsthand. If perhaps they had been scouting him previously and only being updated based on scouts reports and then the videos available, they got the opportunity to play against him. And he was a brilliant youngster. He has immense talent. So for a team like Villa, moving on Morgan Rogers, who they brought in similarly, like we are seeing of Manzambi, and then eventually groomed him to become the player that he became, I think Manzambi's transfer fits in nicely. Yeah, there are risks around it, his injury and everything, but in terms of the potential, nobody can doubt that Manzambi possesses that. And I think that will be the direct replacement for Morgan Rogers. Then they've added that boy, Maja, the striker. And I think it is a reason they are also contemplating moving on Oli Watkins, because they can trust in him to do a job. They try some 1 or 2 instances trying to see if they can change the outlook of the attack. Then Tammy Abraham was brought on. Abraham looked like he was a replacement for John Duran, who had moved on. So if Oli Watkins has to leave, then the Maja boy will fit in, and then they have 2 young strikers. Tammy Abraham, the most experienced, maybe he gets to start, but Maja will challenge him for the starting bed. And I think it is positive. Villa also moved on Lucadine, like you rightly said. Matteo Ruggeri, who plays either as a left wing back or as a left back, will come on board to support the former Chelsea player from the Netherlands. And then they will occupy the left back position. So their transfers have been strategic. Again, Yuri Tillemans left. They have recovered Boubacar Kamara. And then they've brought on João Gomez. Kamara looks like a new signing because he was effectively out for major parts of last season. And then they have Onana. Gomez was also added to the four. And so they have made strategic signings, not forgetting Alejandro Garnacho. So you can even see that they have replaced Morgan Rogers with Garnacho and Manzambi. So when it comes to wing options, where Rogers can play, Garnacho is offered an opportunity to prove that he belongs. If it comes to the central attacking midfield area, there is Joao Manzambi to do a job for them. So I think they've made strategic signings. And why they will want to get Wan-Bissaka, again, the explanation is Arsenal have been courting Ezri Konsa. They've been looking at opportunities to sign him from Aston Villa. Konsa can play as a centre-back. And in terms of centre-back additions, Villa have added 1 player in Mudu Kebasisi. So if they have to move Konsa on, they have a centre-back replacements lined up. If Wan-Bissaka also comes on board, then Kwanzaa has to move, especially when Kwanzaa can play at times as a right back. Then they have Wan-Bissaka to also fill in there. So they have been strategic. They are not signings that will wow you. They are not signings that look so amazing, but they are strategic signings which, if it works, would go on to improve the Aston Villa team. The only player I think would have actually affected them if they have moved in on would have been John McGinn, because I think he's their lifeblood.
Okay.
He brings them to life. He adds color to the Villa team. He wears his heart on his sleeves. He's their leader. But with keeping John McGinn, any other player that is brought on board will definitely be in a position to help the club move forward. So I think they've made very good signings.
The other bit came in about half an hour ago. David Ornstein, put out on social and on The Athletic that Manchester United and United were closing in on a deal for Cameroonian midfielder Carlos Baleba. According to Ornstein, the 60 million plus 5 that United have put on the table is below what Brighton want, but the belief is that they'll quickly meet somewhere, negotiate a deal, and the player will be on his way to Man United. Michael, thoughts on this? And have United gone round the long route to come to a solution, or at least thinking about revamping the midfield, or they should have done this earlier?
I think approach 2 matters in transfers. I think if United had been knocking consistently on the door of Brighton right after at the end of last season, then Brighton would have been in a position to demand a hefty fee for Baleba. But we are well aware that his stock has dropped a bit. His performances have been affected. And then his injuries as well. It's been a bit concerning. So it has played to the advantage of United. There is no doubt about Baleba's potential. Again, he's a player I saw firsthand during the AFCON in Morocco. He's a brilliant footballer. His ability to read games, even out of possession, means that he has certain qualities this United team will need. First, he brings the physicality. 2, he has Premier League knowledge or experience. 3, he has an untapped potential which he can bring to the ball. So he's still developing. If you invest in him, you sort out a certain profile you need in your team. But it's about the approach. If United had gone around looking all desperate for him, I think the fee that we would have been discussing at this initial stage will be around from, let's say, 80 to 90 million pounds. But now, Brighton saw that the market demands for Baleba has dropped. I don't think a lot of teams went in for him.
Yeah, but Michael, if that's the case for Brighton, does it not then say that, look, if there are no demands for our player, we get to keep him?
Again, Brighton is not that club hell-bent on keeping players against their will, especially when there is a certain market suitability around them.
Okay.
Baleba is in demand. Liverpool have scouted him before. Manchester United have registered their interest formally before. And so if there is a market to move in on, why wouldn't you? And how much did Brighton pay for his services? Very cheap.
Very cheap, yeah.
So even if they are selling him at 80 million, they are still making a huge profit. So I think Brighton will not want to keep Baleba against his wishes. And they will not want to keep Baleba all because they don't want to sell. They have showed time without number that they are a selling club. But I like the approach of Man U. Maybe fans will not agree.
Yeah, I was about to ask you. I've heard all kinds of people react to United and how the Ineos people are doing their business. Some say they are penny pinching. Some say they don't have money. Some say they are acting slow. But there are others who say that because of, 1, the market distortion, and 2, the sins of Ed Woodward in splashing too much money many, many years ago and overpaying for players, they are now trying to be more sensible in how they approach, transfer. Some people say they should have been in the hands for Elliot Anderson. I don't know where you stand on. Is it penny pinching or is smart thinking by Ineos?
I think it is the approach of the new structure to try and then erase a certain reputation that was put on them. United were poor buyers in the transfer market. They were either overpaying for players who did not deserve that fee, or they were signing the wrong players. And from last season, you can see that there has been a change. They no longer go after reputation. They no longer go after a player with a certain name. They only go for suitability, whether it is early or late. How early did they get Sene Lomens? It was quite late in the season. The transfer window was nearly closing. But when he came on board, he was a right fit. And we saw the improvement he brought into the United team. So how transfers work, I don't really begrudge clubs. I don't really try to have a go at them if they don't complete a certain deal in a certain time frame. You can sign the player early. If he will deliver, he will deliver. You can sign him later on. If he will deliver, he will. The only thing to look out for is suitability in terms of profile. And then also try to always bargain for the right price. And I think that is what United is trying to do. I think they've taken a cue from the previous practices, how they approach the transfer market, and they want to make changes. United wanted someone like Yuri Telemans. They went for him. We did not really see much back and forth. They just went for him, sealed the deal, they were done. So if they are going for Baleba, it is because they want him, but they will only want him on their terms. And I think if you're a United fan, you should be happy about that. You don't need to pour over players all because you want the player. The dynamics around transfers, they differ. So I think people should take their time. And again, United cannot use just one summer transfer window to address all the problems in the teams. In their team. Because you would have to grapple with availability of options. It is one fundamental aspect. Of all the departments in the United team, how available are the options on the market? United wanted a left back, went for Luis Hall. Newcastle says, no, we are not selling. We are done. What other options are available for them? So they need to take their time and look at some of these, because if you are not careful, you go and sign Tyrell Malacia, and then it becomes a problem for you. So I think you need to be a bit measured in the approach. And I don't have a problem with an approach that has worked in the past. I will not want to condemn it now, because fans are eager to see the club make more signings because they'll be playing in the Champions League.
Yeah.
What if they make more signings, they bring players who will not contribute anything? It still goes on to affect you. So they need to move with tact, and I think that is what they are doing. Let's not be overly critical of the same approach. I want to see the positives in that, because last season it paid off. This season you trust that they will build on that, and then they will move forward. Even if they don't get all the signings they are supposed to, you trust that they will manage what they have. I don't think United will go into the Champions League now to win it. Go in there to compete so that you can derive something commercially from it.
Yeah.
And then make sure you maintain your status, qualify for the next Champions League. That is when you build on success. You don't all of a sudden complete the building after just one fantastic season. It doesn't work that way in football.
Well, for the United fans listening, Carlos Baleba, in terms of fitness, is currently not fit. He sustained an ankle ligament injury during preseason. The word is that he'll be out for another 2 to 3 weeks. Now, if United do get the deal done, it will mean that Baleba will not play against Hull City, but against Everton on the 6th of September, he could be available. Last season, Baleba played 35 times for Brighton, got 7 yellow cards as a defensive midfielder. It comes with the territory. If you play in this position, you are definitely going to pick up yellow cards. But the word is that United are speaking with Brighton, and the word is that they are closing in on the deal. United presented 60 million plus 5. Brighton says it's below the valuation, but people close to the deal say that it's not, as we'll say in Tree, they will sort it out. They'll sort it out very, very quickly, and then they'll get it done. So that's the word on Carlos Baleba. Michael, just final thoughts on the transfers. Let's talk about the big one that was done yesterday. Rodri to Barcelona. And if you read bits of the inside story, I'm yet to fully digest the inside story. I'll do that after the show. But Real Madrid were very interested in bringing in Rodri, but that didn't happen. Your thoughts on the deal, what it means for Barcelona? Does it all of a sudden change the outlook? Does it give them a stronger advantage going into the season?
I think in Rodri, Barcelona get a player they haven't had or get a profile they haven't had in a very, very long time. Maybe since Sergio Busquets. That is the kind of signing they get, because that profile will somehow bring control into Hansi Flick's team. Yes, Hansi Flick's team control possession. They play very direct football. But there have been times where they've been a bit chaotic for my liking. And it has led to counter-attacking situations against them where players have had to foul their markers and then attract red cards. We've seen how it's cost them. Before Hansi Flick, there was the whole Barcelona PSG 10, Ronald Araujo and the complaints he received. But under Hansi Flick, we have seen consistently that Barcelona's inability to control games during certain game states has affected them. Failing to control the game against Atletico cost them in the 2 legs. Failing to control games against Inter Milan cost them the semi-final and then an eventual slot in the final. So the point is that Rodri brings control and a certain on-pitch authority into this Barcelona team. Pedri is good. Frank de Jong can do a job when he's fit. But in Rodri, he's different gravy. He allows the team to flow in a manner where it will suit what the coach wants. And he's tactically flexible. He can play under Fleck, he can play under Pep, he can play under Mourinho. He's not your typical ideology-schooled player who plays according to a certain club's ideology or philosophy. Pedri, I doubt, might be able to thrive under maybe a typical Mourinho. Rodri is different, and it's because of his formative years in football, from the Atleti youth team to the BRL youth team, eventually to the senior team, back to Atleti. He's had the opportunity of playing in different environments and picking bits and pieces. The best example to relate this to would be perhaps Xabi Alonso, from Sociedad to Benitez at Liverpool to Mourinho at Real, Ancelotti at Real at a point in time, and then also to play under Pep at Bayern. You pick out certain bits and pieces, and it molds your playing career. So I think Rodri brings what Barcelona lack, which is the profile, control, and authority. He's able to help protect their defense, because when you are not susceptible to counter-attacking situations, it means your defense will not be put under that pressure. That is what Rodri brings. And then how he also it flows, or in a fluid manner, is able to relate to the attackers as well. So I think it's a very important signing. But Barcelona have only signed reputation, not a player who has delivered, because we've not seen Rodri in a Barca just yet. What we know is Rodri for Spain, Rodri for Manchester City, much like we saw Gundogan for Man City, and Gundogan at certain stages for Germany. So we haven't seen Rodri for Barcelona yet. And I think he has the quality to deliver, but does he have the physical reliability? That is one important thing to note. Is he going to be in that physical position to meet up the demands of the Barcelona team? Hansi Flick's team are very intense. They go at it when they want it. Can Rodri sustain the level of intensity throughout the period, especially when age, he's 30, he's entered the 30 bracket. Then his dodgy injury record of late. We know how Pep has had to manage him as and when. Then everybody seems to have forgotten about that, because he played all the games for Spain during the World Cup. And that is where even the more danger is. He did not have enough rest during the World Cup period. So when he comes into the Barca team, I think the biggest concern will be about physical reliability. If he's going to be available, he has the quality to do a job. So Barca will need to manage that and get the best out of Rodri physically. If they sort that out, I don't think tactically he will be a problem. I don't think quality he will become a problem. But my concern is the physical reliability of Rodri to consistently be available for Barcelona.
Okay, I mean, they have their man, £65 million. Let's see. Rodri says it's a dream move. Let's see how all of this will play out. Barcelona will be in action this weekend. They didn't play last weekend. They and Real Madrid will be in action this weekend in La Liga. All right, we'll wrap it up on today's episode of the Sporty Breakfast. Michael, thank you so much for passing through. We'll catch up later. Enjoy your day, and we'll speak soon.
All right. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. That was Michael Asai-Bwedu joining us from Sporty 91.3 in Kumasi. That's our show for the morning. Many thanks to you, our listeners, for joining us. My name is Nathan Kwar. Today, I was solo, but I had Michael with me. The production team was still in place. Abigail, Immortal, Naneke, and Angela. Many shouts to Emmanuel Ayamga and Fly. Many shouts to my DJ Fidelis. Many shouts to you, our listeners. Thank you for your calls and your messages. I'm sure as the day goes by, there will be so many stories, and then tomorrow we'll be here. But you can keep your dials, or you should keep your dials locked on Sporty 106.1 in Accra, 102.5 in Takoradi, 91.3 in Kumasi. There's the news at midday, Sporty Plug at 12:30, Sporty Drive at 4, and European Nights later. So many interesting things to talk about. And then we are back tomorrow morning with more Sporty Breakfast. Enjoy your day. Keep your dials locked on Sporty FM. We are the voice of sport. Have a wonderful day. And before I leave, Stanbic Bank is saying that if you want to go and watch the Champions League in person and experience 90 minutes of great football action, this is what you have to do. Simply spend $500 or more using your Stanbic Money Wallet MasterCard, and then you could win 2 tickets to go and watch the Champions League by kind courtesy of MasterCard, who are official sponsors of the UEFA Champions League. Call 030-281-5789 to find out more. Visit their website, stanbicbank.com.gh. The word on your card, T's and C's apply. If you want to go have a good time in Gambia, Tamala Voyage is making it possible. They are giving you 3 nights hotel stay with breakfast, city tour, airport transfers, security fees, and a special Friday BBQ dinner by the beach. There's a package for singles, doubles, and triple. Call them on 025-630-8402 to find out more. That's our Sporty Breakfast for the morning. We'll catch you later. Keep your dials locked on Sporty 106.1. We are the voice of sport. Enjoy your day.